2023 was a bit of an up and down year for Marvel Studios and their fans. There were plenty of new theatrically released films and Disney Plus shows, but while some were met with astounding applause, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Across the Spider-Verse, and Loki Season 2, others, like Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumani, Secret Invasion, and The Marvels, led to a good amount of criticism and complaints from certain parts of the fandom. Although we don't have many release dates yet for the new year, we do know it's going to be heavily centered on the Disney Plus side of storytelling, at least when it comes to the MCU. We'll only be getting one MCU film in 2024, but it could be a big one depending on how everything shakes out. Deadpool 3 is currently set to premiere in theaters this summer, and will be the only MCU movie until 2025. Although there have been a good amount of leaks and set photos for the film, so far the only official detail we know about the Deadpool film is that Hugh Jackman will return as Wolverine in a very prominent role. Even though we don't know much about the story, because it will likely show how the character of Deadpool will cross over from the Fox universe to the MCU, it feels like there are going to be some big cameos, and a lot of consequences for whatever takes place, making it a highly anticipated event for many fans. Other MCU projects that we'll be getting this year include Echo, X-Men 97, Agatha Darkhold Diaries, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Marvel Zombies, and Eyes of Wakanda. Echo is the only one out of these that we have an official release date for, as it will premiere all 5 of its episodes on Disney Plus on January 10th, just about a week from now. The series will pick up with the character of Echo following her appearance in the Hawkeye series, with the description for the show reading, Maya Lopez's ruthless behavior in New York City catches up with her in her hometown. She must face her past, reconnect with her Native American roots, and embrace the meaning of family and community. Multiple teasers have been released for the series, so fans have been able to put together some of the details of the MCU's first rated R project, including confirmed appearances from Kingpin and Daredevil. X-Men 97 was initially assumed to have an early 2024 release date, but that was at a time when Echo was set to release later last year, so it's safe to assume that this has been pushed back as a result. The only hint at a release date that we do have is a newly announced X-Men comic that will supposedly tie into the revived series, meaning that the premiere should come sometime this summer. The X-Men 97 series will continue the popular 90s series, including the same animation style and even some of the original cast members. It's going to be one of Marvel's smaller projects for the year, as it will remain separate from the MCU like the first 5 seasons of the show were, but it should be a fun way to possibly introduce new fans to the X-Men before they appear in the MCU. Agatha Darkhold Diaries is another MCU series that was initially announced to premiere in 2023, before multiple delays caused an air of uncertainty around it. Changing the title of the series multiple times while in production doesn't help. First House of Harkness, and then Coven of Chaos, before the now Darkhold Diaries. The series will follow up the character of Agatha Harkness, introduced to the MCU in WandaVision as a member of the Westview community. Although it appears that the series will focus on a newer and more unfamiliar cast of characters, the connection to the popular WandaVision series, massive elements of witchcraft and magic, and Kathryn Hahn in the starring role could make this a surprise hit. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, initially announced as Spider-Man Freshman Year, will be another MCU series releasing sometime this year. The animated series will depict Peter Parker's early years as Spider-Man, with a partially released cast already confirming the appearance of Matt Murdock at some point. I've seen some things that say this is set in an alternate universe, but with Tom Holland and Charlie Cox both playing their usual characters, I don't know if that's for certain. Ever since it was announced, Marvel Studios has said very little regarding the series, leading many fans to worry if it was cancelled or not. The brief mention of a title change in Disney's press release quelled these fears, but we still don't know much about it, suggesting a late 2024 release date. Marvel Studios is another animated Marvel series that we know very little about. It'll follow up the zombie episode from What If Season 1, and although nothing has been said about a release date, we are aware of many of the characters that will be appearing in the series. Zombified versions of Hawkeye, Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Captain Marvel, Okoye, Ghost, Abomination, and Icarus have all been confirmed to appear, as well as normal versions of Miss Marvel, Shang-Chi, Kate Bishop, Elena Belova, Red Guardian, Jimmy Woo, Death Dealer, and Katie. I wasn't a huge fan of this What If episode, but with actress Iman Vellani coming out and saying that her character, Miss Marvel, will be the Frodo of the series, that has gotten me a bit excited for this one. The final animated Marvel series that we could see released in 2024 is Eyes of Wakanda, a recently announced Black Panther Disney Plus series with the description, throughout Wakandan history, brave warriors have been tasked to travel the world, retrieving dangerous vibranium artifacts. This is their story. It was revealed in a Disney press release during the world premiere event for What If Season 2, so not much information was included, but it does seem like it won't focus on the present-day Wakanda. Although the animation would make it possible to see Chadwick Boseman's character again, voiced by a different actor, I think it's likely we don't see a Black Panther at all, and instead it's a different group of Wakandan warriors. It'll be fun to return to Wakanda, but the limited details and the unknown release date make it difficult to look forward to too much. There will also be 3 different Sonyverse films released in 2024, and while they're not technically a part of the MCU, depending on how things shake out with the multiverse, they could end up being important down the line. Starting with Madam Web, which has a release date of February 14th, this one looks like it could have potential. The first teaser trailer was met with mixed responses, but it has a solid cast that could draw in fans, including Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney, and Celeste O'Connor, and with a variety of Spider people they'll be playing, it may be the closest thing we get to a Spider-Man movie for a while. The next Sonyverse movie set to release in 2024 is Kraven the Hunter. After initially slated to premiere in theaters this past fall, it now holds an August 30th release date. Starring Aylar Taylor-Johnson as Kraven, this appears to be a very contained story, focusing on the origin of Kraven and his family. I wasn't too impressed with what we saw in the teaser, but I do think it will be on par with the rest of these Sonyverse films. Solid, but not spectacular. The third Sonyverse film in 2024 will be Venom 3, although with its November 8th release date and very little news regarding it, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities if it gets pushed back a little. It's difficult to say what exactly the focus of the story will be, since we saw Eddie Brock and Venom spend a brief amount of time in the MCU before being sent back to their own universe. It'll likely follow that anti-hero duo once they return to their own reality, but I also wouldn't rule out if we see a bit of what happens to that symbiote that was left at the bar in the MCU, even if it's just in the post-credit scene or something. Both Venom movies have been fairly enjoyable on their own, so this is definitely the one I'm most looking forward to out of the 3. What are you most looking forward to this year? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like the video, and subscribe for more Marvel videos every week, and remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you. Always.